Good evening, everybody. What is going on out there? It is your boy Michael here. Welcome back to a live episode of Technoid. Where else would I be on this perfect Friday night? Happy Friday, guys. It is the end of the week. It is nice to have a nice crack of a good cold one after a long week, especially with spring break on the end and soon back to normal reality. I am here to entertain you all and give you the latest news. So, without further ado, I want to thank you all real quick. Thank you for coming on. Thank you all for joining me on tonight's live stream. Of course, this is just the start. We will get more people coming in as we go along. Tonight's episode, again, as always, guys, I encourage you all, Rogue Energy. I'm not going to say it long this time. Check them out, rogueenergy.com, 10% off, brand new marketing. Now that I got that out of the way, let's get right to the roll call. Let's see who we have in the house tonight. We got Max, which we will get to in a second, but yeah, there we go. We got Robert. Ew. What's up, Robert? See, I do that. Ew. Kimon, yeah! What up, Technoid and Max? What's up, my big man? We got Gene. Gene in the house, good to see you. And it looks like we got Matt. He got them Doritos and Mountain Dews. What a perfect combination. Perfect combination. But of course, I like a more healthier approach with that Rogue Energy. Alrighty, so before we bring in our two guests tonight, we might have some other people joining us tonight. I just want to disclaim to all of you again that my AirPods Max video is still in post-production. I had to film some more stuff, so it is taking a lot longer than I anticipated. I apologize for the wait, guys. But the video will be out very, very soon. I keep saying it. I don't have an exact date, but once it is done editing, it will be out, and I promise it'll be worth the wait. But with that said, let's get right to it. So tonight we have two guests who are going to join us tonight. We have the great legendary Sneed Mobile Tech, but we also have a brand new YouTuber coming on to my channel for the first time. Of course, you guys know him. He doesn't need no introduction. You all know this lovable, yet soon to be big name in tech world. I am banking on Max. His name is Max Tech Studios, and I believe he is the future of the tech space. Everybody says, "Oh, Technoid, you're the future." No. People, I am 20 years old. The future would have been 7 years ago for me. But with that said, I am thrilled and honored to bring on Max and Sneed. So without further ado, Max and Sneed, welcome to the Technoid live stream. Sneed, it is a welcome back as usual. It's been a while, brother. It's been a while.
Thanks, man. Thanks for bringing me back, bro.
So, Max, thank you for also coming on. It is a pleasure to have you on tonight. This is your first time. Now, again, as I said before, no introductions are needed. Everybody knows you. Everybody knows what you do, Max. You are a young up-and-coming creator with a lot of potential on the horizon. So it's always great to be behind and show support when support is needed. And thank you, Kimon, for posting the link. You can check out his channel here. I will leave it highlighted for a couple of minutes. But anyway, boys, so tonight we are doing a little something different. Now, normally I bring on my guests. I have a list of ideas and shows that we talk about, stories and topics. But yesterday I was in the middle of watching the Sneed Mobile Tech live stream, which again, shout out the at&t podcast. They are probably some of the funnest podcasts you're going to find on the internet. I wish I was a part of that, but of course, beggars can't be choosers. But check it out, guys.
We got to get you on the next show, Technoid. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah, we gotta get you on one of my live streams too.
Always. Yeah. I'm always open to helping everybody out, and I'm always open to joining. But anyway, checking out Sneed's live streams again, guys. They are some fun. They have some great content, great guests. But the reason why I'm also following up on his live stream is for a couple of reasons. Number one, Sneed, your live stream hit the nail on the mark about T-Mobile's, whole year since the merger, which we will discuss tonight. We will talk about the merger, but your live stream talked about T-Mobile and Dish's partnership, anti-competition, and the FCC complaints against T-Mobile, and a lot of things going on that don't really ring any bells with T-Mobile. Now, it's been officially a year since the merger. We're going to start with that. We're actually going to start with T-Mobile and Sprint merger. It has been officially 1 whole year since the merger started, and a lot of things have happened in a year. We've seen John Ledger step down, Mike Seaver, Eugene come onto the spotlight. We have seen a new trend in their plans. We have seen new customers. We have seen so many marketing gimmicks. We've seen everything. So I'm going to start with Sneed, and then Max, you're going to go right after. I asked this question. I bring it to the floor. How do you guys judge in the whole year since the merger's completion? How would you rate the merger as of a year in the timing of this show? What are your thoughts?
So I think from a network standpoint, T-Mobile has actually overachieved. I think they have they set some goals. They set some network goals. They wanted to get ahead in 5G, and I think they've been able to do that. Not only do I think they have the most 5G, but they also have a lot of capacity in that 5G. There's, a certain precedent that we have in 5G, and that you have like Verizon and AT&T repurposing, spectrum that they've had with LTE and with older technologies like 3G. So it hasn't felt like real 5G, like a next gen leap. But with the merger with T-Mobile, what they've been able to do is they've been able to take the assets in the 2.5 gigahertz spectrum from Sprint and leverage that as a true capacity layer that is new, right? It's never been utilized before. So bringing that and making it available to customers, anybody who's upgraded to an N41 device over the last 6 months, maybe longer, maybe the last 7 or 8 months, they have noticed an incredible improvement in capacity. And that's what this merger was really all about, right? It was about, T-Mobile basically falling behind in LTE, trying to catch up, and then getting ahead in 5G. And I think they've done that. Now, in the process, there's an identity crisis happening at T-Mobile, whether they like to publicize it or admit it or not. They have always been known as what's called the Un-carrier, and it's a name that the company took on with their former CEO, John Leisure. Now, John Leisure is the Un-carrier. It's the initiative of addressing customer pain points, making customers feel good about their wireless plan, their wireless smartphone access, and all of that, getting a good deal on a plan, getting unlimited, taxes and fees included in your pricing. So many of the things that were annoying about Verizon and AT&T at the time, they were attacking. That's what John did. And a lot of that has really plateaued. A lot of that has hit the wall because you can only uncarrier so many things. At some point, the only thing left to uncarrier is you saying to your customers, we're here to make less money, which makes no sense in business. You're not there to make less money. You're there to make more money. So there is most definitely a pressure for them to now become a more profitable company as they have taken on the debt of Sprint. They have become a larger company with more customers. And there are investors that are now saying to Eugene, Mike Seaver, Sweaty Armpits, they're now saying, we just did this merger. We bought Sprint for $26 billion. They had all this debt with them, and we're investing all this money. So you have to make more. You have to become more profitable. You can't do Un-carrier things and continue to be the Un-carrier. I've come to grips with it. A lot of my cohorts understand it. There are some people who are still drinking the pink Kool-Aid and think that you can still be the Un-carrier. But we all know that the Un-carrier was John. The Un-carrier was the old T-Mobile because they were hungry, and they were behind. And that's simply not the case. They're not really behind. They even brag and boast about having more wireless subscribers than AT&T. So you're no longer the underdog. You're no longer playing from behind. Like, it's basically like if the Miami Heat won the finals last year, and then the next year they go, okay, we're ready to repeat. We're the underdogs.
Yeah, you're just kind of
that just
becoming one
doesn't.
of the big ones again.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. So, but they don't want to lose their momentum, and they don't want to lose the steam, and they don't want to lose that because it was working. So, I think anybody who looks at it objectively understands it's a different time, it's a different T-Mobile, it's a different company. Just some people I think are a little stubborn to make that transition.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, commenting on that Un-carrier part of it, I agree 100%. T-Mobile is, ever since John left, it's not only not been the same, but it just feels like the Un-carrier moves that they think they're trying to make, because you can't go so much Un-carrier because then you end up losing money. So, what they're doing is, they're trying to do all these Un-carrier things. They did T-Vision, which horribly flopped, but now they're just kind of embracing that, they're just one of the other ones. They're just up there with Verizon and AT&T. You've got this new Magenta Max plan. It's packed with stuff. but it just feels like something that another carrier would put out. Obviously, it's got the unlimited priority data, which no one else has yet, but it just feels like T-Mobile is just trying to now go up on that, higher tier, trying to become the next Verizon, the next AT&T, creating more reasons for people to switch, pretending that they're the uncarrier when really they are the carrier. So, again, there's only so much uncarrier you can do, as Snead pointed out. As for the merger, wow, a lot has happened in a year. So obviously, you can no longer sign up for Sprint starting on August 2nd of 2020. You can no longer sign up for Sprint, which funnily enough was actually the day we canceled our Sprint service to switch over to Mint Mobile. But anywho, you can no longer sign up for Sprint. And this summer, they're merging the two networks together, shutting down the Sprint network, go bye-bye. Also, Boost Mobile, a lot has happened with them. A lot has happened with Dish. A whole lot has happened, for other carriers and companies because of this merger as a result. A lot of previous Sprint MVNOs like Tello and Gen Mobile and, Twigby and the like have all switched over to the T-Mobile network, at the beginning of the year to just avoid all this stuff happening later on. So, there you go. But with the Dish network, as that's being built up, they've got Boost Mobile, they've got Ting, and they're switching over Boost Mobile and Ting to the T-Mobile network as well. They're just trying to get a lot of people on the T-Mobile network for the time being until their network is finished. But a lot has happened with the merger, with Sprint, and just a lot of companies that I didn't expect that would actually be involved in this and either benefit or not benefit from this sort of thing, from this merger here. But
No, yeah. Sorry. You were finishing up, Max?
Yeah, Uncarrier, that was John. Now he's gone. So no more Uncarrier, but we are getting a better T-Mobile network. Obviously they've got the 2.5 gigahertz spectrum from Sprint, and 41 high capacity. All about that M41 mid-band stuff right now. But CBRS is starting to be available for some people, and they're going to build that out a bit more with the higher spectrum stuff. And in terms of the network, it's improving. In terms of the company and the plans and the value, it's starting to become less like they once were, and more of just another one of the big carriers. Which for me, it's kind of sad because I liked the Uncarrier when T-Mobile was the Uncarrier. They did a lot of things. Back in John's day, they forced the industry into making true unlimited. And even before that, they actually had a pretty amazing plan where you got 100 minutes unlimited text and 5 gigs of data for $30, which I know it sounds awful today, but way back in 2014 when they introduced the plan, that was game changing. You could barely get any data for that price, and 5 gigs is pretty respectable for in between light and average usage. So, Uncarrier moves during John's time, I think, set T-Mobile on the right path. So it's kind of sad to see them kind of breaking away from that with this new CEO. But the network is getting better, and I'm optimistic for the future of the T-Mobile network, and I'm also excited for Dish.
Okay, so both of you bring up very fair points. Starting with you, Max, because you just spoke just now. You make a very fair point. Their network is getting better. A lot of us did make a lot of jokes in the past. A year ago, we talked a lot about T-Mobile's network performance, and for good reason. The performance back then was underwhelming. And me being a former T-Mobile customer at the time, it was not a good experience. We were barely getting 1 gigabit of download and barely even an upload, and that is part of a merging process, but it was consistently for a long time for us, so that's why we switched. But to your point, they have made some improvements. They are working to improve their network capacity. They are working on continuing to improve their speeds, and I can't sit here and deny them that, so I will give them that credibility. When it comes to Snead, you bring up a lot of fair points, some things that I was going to say myself. For starters, the Uncarrier, they're not. John Ledger is the Uncarrier. I think we all agree there. I also agree that they have somehow overachieved, like in their marketing. I believe their marketing is a little bit of a big over push, because some of the things they're claiming is clearly not true, and anybody with a brain cell can tell. But with that said, though, one of my things that I noticed for the year was the separation of John Ledger and T-Mobile. You can see the separation of what the difference in a CEO can make. And to this day, I don't think it's been a year since Mike Sievert has been CEO of T-Mobile yet. I plan on doing a 1 year recap video discussing his tenure as CEO. I'm not impressed. I am not truly on board with Mike as CEO. He is about as average can be. And one of the things that rubbed me the wrong way about him being CEO right from the start was when he did his first meeting as a CEO of the new company, introducing Scam Shield. At the very end of that stream, when they were taking questions, the first thing he said, and this was the thing that I will always remember him by, is he literally had to acknowledge lawyers and certain assets that you cannot mention on screen. Now, to be fair, there is a liability, so you do have to disclaim. But here's the thing. No CEO that I can tell from history of any events, dating back to Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, hell, I'll even go a step further, dating back to even in China, Europe with Xiaomi and OnePlus. I've never seen a CEO ever acknowledge lawyers or have to give any kind of disclaimer. That's why you have fine print at the bottom.
Right.
And that rubbed me the wrong way about Mike. He was to the book CEO, and I felt like his fun and enthusiasm was just not genuine. I didn't feel him like, people said that he was the guy behind the Uncarrier marketing. People said that he was the reason that John Ledger was John Ledger. And when you hear things like that, you question it. You're like, is that true? And after almost a year, I can tell you that that is completely false. And we all know that's a fact. So for me, I do see a lot of potential with T-Mobile. We have been very critical of them, but for good reason. In order for something to be better, you have to present criticism, and you have to give constructive criticism. You can't just say something sucks and not give a reason why. So me, Sneed, and I'm sure you, Max, have given some constructive criticism towards T-Mobile.
Yeah.
Now, I do hope that they get better, because I would like to go back. I actually will not lie to you. I would be willing to go back to see how much they've improved, or maybe not improved. Who knows? But I wouldn't mind going back, checking out, see the progress they've made. But it's going to take a lot of work, and it's going to take a lot of persuasion, because Verizon has kind of coded my mind. So
To
yeah,
add some constructive criticism and commentary on the whole thing. First of all, with Scam Shield, I never thought of it as like a breakthrough feature. I always thought of it as just another thing that they added to try to get people to sign up. Just another useless feature you probably wouldn't use. I mean, the intentions are great, but I never thought of it as like a headline feature or anything. It was just, I guess it was just kind of there and somewhat useful. I mean, Gene Jr., who uses Metro, says he really likes Scam Shield and it works great. But, I always thought of it as just another feature that you don't really use. And, the thing is, from the beginning, T-Mobile never had the best network. Like, go back when the company started, the network was nowhere close to Verizon and AT&T, but the business strategy was right. They were trying to be the anti-Verizon and AT&T. They were trying to do what they didn't, learn from their mistakes, and just make a better plan for consumers who are tired of what Verizon and AT&T were offering. But now, their network is improving, but they are now becoming the next Verizon AT&T big carrier, right? They're no longer this scrappy young company trying to do better. They are an established company that's just doing the same.
Agreed. Absolutely 100% right, Max. No disagreement there, 100%. You're absolutely hit it on the nail. Sneed, do you have anything you'd like to add, or?
I mean, that's pretty good synthesis. It's you take everything that carrier has done over the last year, and you've seen them deviate from the shaking of the market. Right? That's what they used to do. They used to do these uncarrier moves and shake up the market, and it would bother AT&T, and it would bother Verizon. I remember things that John Legere did forced Verizon and AT&T to have to move, forced them to have to change in order to compete. If Verizon and AT&T didn't move and didn't compete, they would have lost more customers much sooner, right? So that nature, that DNA, right, that way of how they do business, that's absent. They are willing to compete for your business, but they're not uncarrier all things, right? They're not uncarriering anything anymore.
Yeah, think
Because
about
if
this.
you look at, well, hold on one second, Max.
Yeah.
If you look at the plan that they brought to the table, it is a premium plan.
Hmm.
Nothing uncarrier about that. The uncarrier would have made it more accessible to people regardless of pricing. You see what I'm saying? And I'm not telling them how to
Yeah.
run their business.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just calling a spade a spade. The uncarrier addresses pain points. It's not that that move is creating a pain point, but it's not helping a lot of people. It's an upsell. That's not uncarrier. Scam Shield is a government mandated FCC obligation. It's not uncarrier.
It's more of a it's more of something you're forced to do. You have
Yeah,
to
but
do
they
it.
try to spin it and they try to control the
They
narrative.
try to make it.
It's the
Yeah,
regulation
exactly.
that they're bragging about, following the regulation. And think about this for a minute. What did Mike Sievert do? What uncarrier moves did he do? What did he do in general? Okay, he released Scam Shield. Again, that was just a government regulation, and again, just a feature that I've always thought of as something that was just kind of there, you know. All right, what else did he do? He introduced a TV copy of YouTube TV that eventually just became YouTube TV. I had a whole video about why that failed.
Yep.
He released a premium plan, which is the least uncarrier thing you could do. And he added 0.5 gigs to each of the T-Mobile Connect plans, which was automatically going to happen anyway, because that was their annual data upgrade thing that they were advertising as one of the selling points of those plans.
And it was also put in place by John Legere and not Mike Sievert.
Right.
And
So
go ahead. Mike.
That's it.
Oh, okay.
Nothing about those is uncarrier.
Yes, agreed. And I will add on one thing, and then we'll move on a little bit because we're halfway through the show. But I will say, I've been very critical of Mike Sievert for good reasons. Excuse me, guys. And I said that T-Vision, to me, is not a John Legere problem. It is a Mike Sievert issue because John proposed the service. He made it, but he didn't get to finish it. Mike Sievert, becoming new CEO, had an obligation to do so, to finish it, because that is an incomplete product that needed a rehaul. So Mike Sievert took it upon himself to make this a realistic product. And to me, personally, it flopped worse than Quibi, in my opinion.
Quibi was rough. And if you watch my video, I said in that video specifically about how T-Vision failed that I always just thought of it as a way to get attention, a way for T-Mobile to get attention. They were never really trying to care about this service. They just kind of wanted to say something at a launch event. They just wanted some media attention. Because this is nothing groundbreaking. This is nothing game-changing. Yeah, sure, YouTube TV is more expensive. And sure, it does include a lot of channels that you don't need. That is coming from me, a YouTube TV customer, someone who uses that instead of cable. But I just gotta say, it just felt lazy.
It did. It felt very lazy. You can tell in that event that there was no enthusiasm, and overall, it was not the right approach. And I feel like if they were going to appeal to the mass consumers, if they really wanted to invest in it, they would have gone more out for it. But yeah,
definitely.
there's nothing there that's unique or groundbreaking that hasn't been done before. So I'm completely with you guys. Last thing we'll talk about, and then we'll move on to the whole Dish Network. We'll talk about Sneed, your live stream. Now their next uncarrier move has been announced for April 7th, and we all have spoken out and think we're assuming it is their home internet service. Now, Sneed, you are the perfect one to talk about this. With your experience with T-Mobile home internet, you have had some pretty good experience and a pretty bad experience. It was great for like the first 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then all of a sudden it just went down. It died, and it didn't bomb. Like it it was a nuclear explosion, died. Like
It went
it ain't even
Chernobyl.
standing. It went Chernobyl. It ain't even standing. There's not even a ground to stand on. So my concern, and then this is my last final thought on this whole merger 1 year later, and then I'll let you guys close it out, and then we'll move on. Is my concern is that they are not going to meet the capacity for this home internet. I still don't think they have capacity and any more room to make room for this home internet solution. Now, of course, they could be utilizing mid-band. They could do ultra wide. I'm sorry, not millimeter wave. I'm talking about sub-6. But again, if you're going to try to promote 100 megabits, or if they're going to really push it with a gigabit, which I do not think they're going to do, because even they know they can't reach a gigabit, I have my doubts that it's going to be a solid solution. And I ask you,
Mike, we got to talk about this from a business standpoint. So Sneed's about to put on his business hat.
okay,
Business owner, business
Right.
operator,
I'm a
CEO.
business major, so I'm ready to
Right.
talk business.
Yeah,
Company
so
Man
like,
2.0.
right. So I don't want to look at this. Well, it kind of is from the consumer side. So here's what happens in a business. Customers line up for a service and they say, I'll have that. I will pay you money for this offer. I have an expectation. I'm looking at your terms of service. I see what's included in the service. I understand what the product is. I agree to pay it. Now it's the company's job to give what the customer thinks they're paying for. The service has been so unreliable. There is no way, no how. I'm the only person who is having trouble with network reliability and device connectivity. The gateway that facilitates the T-Mobile network for the fixed wireless access, the hardware. So we're talking about like the router, the modem combo that you get shipped to you from T-Mobile to run this. It's absolutely undependable. There are failures. There are moments of overheating. It's a poor performer, and I'm not the only one.
You're not.
And
Got videos
honestly,
right here.
it's 50-50 when it comes to the hardware, and that's not the only problem. The other problem is the network side. If you don't have a newly upgraded network tower, it's a crapshoot. You might get decent performance. It might be awful at times. Home internet is non-negotiable in 2021.
Oh no.
Max has school. His parents have work. That's how my house is too. There's TVs, there's Zoom meetings going on. There are uploads going on for YouTube. There's so many different things, right? The network must be A, reliable, B, available, and C, dependable. If at any moment in time those things become compromised, the service is a failure. Why do people leave providers?
They're
Not
unreliable.
getting what they
Because they
think
hate
they're
it.
paying for.
They're not getting
So
what they're-
you're getting the Sneed business hat telling you if you cannot provide what customers think they're paying for, it's a failure product. So here's the thing, and I'll leave it with this. They keep saying that this product and service is in beta. Yeah, it is. Based on your performance, it is. But you're selling it for more today than you were 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it was 50 and now it's 60.
Yeah. And you know what's sad? When Michael searched T-Mobile home internet on YouTube, like 90% of the results that popped up were just saying that it's bad. Like if that just doesn't show how bad of an internet provider you are, then I don't know what is.
So Max, they got the they got that layer cake thing going on, right?
Yeah.
They pulled out the cake before it was done.
Oh,
It's not done baking. It's not
It's al
ready.
dente.
Yeah, it's not ready. I don't know how far it is from being ready, but it's too problematic. And then for somebody to say things like, "Oh well, it's new," and okay, yes, so you're admitting it's not ready. I just don't understand how you're gonna sell something that needs to be reliable. You're gonna sell it as unreliable.
I am honestly, I look at this product. To me, it is very incomplete. And I think Max and Sneed, you just said it. And in a business perspective, I understand they want to compete, they want to make money, they want to grab market share, all that. I get it. But from a consumer's perspective, Sneed, you're right. Reliability, sustainability is number one. you pay for what you get. They raised the price by $10, and I know why they did it. I personally believe they did it to make up for the loss that T-Vision took. I personally believe they raised it $10 to make up for the lost money from T-Vision. And the fact that they really think they can push this nationwide, it's laughable.
Oof.
It's really, really bad. So I'm going to hold my judgment on the home internet until I see solid, real, worldwide, and not meaning worldwide, meaning like in United States rollout. I want to see people in certain areas use this. I want to see how it performs before I can give a final verdict. Now, Sneed, you might have all the evidence you need to give it a final verdict because you did use it. But I want to see this quote-unquote completed part, because if they claim that this is a real thing, they're going to do it nationwide, that must be the final product. So I want to see that. And if you are eligible to get the final product, if they give you the worldwide, let's see if it's a difference. And if it's not, then Mike, that you're good to go.
But Mike, they're selling it to me and I have to pay the bill. So
that's
to
what
me,
I'm saying.
It's a finished product. Like, well, I'm paying for it like it is.
That's my point. My point was that because you're paying for it and it's a completed product, then you're the right one to say what you think. And you're the right one to talk here versus me because you're the paying customer. And I was actually going to bring up one last thing is that, now you're looking at speeds. How are they going to market 100 download? And how are they going to give it to customers when they can barely even get through in your area? And I'm curious as to see how they're going to get through in New York.
And how can they charge $60 for it?
Well, they want to make up for loss, so they have to get that $10 in there.
I guess. Now, I guess it sounds obvious at this point, but the way T-Mobile needs to save their internet, make it cheaper, make it more reliable. Obviously not everyone's as lucky to have this, but in my area, you can get at&t fiber 1 gigabit per second for $60 a month. Same as T-Mobile internet. Mm-hmm. Way more reliable, way more dependable. They got the fiber optic. They got much faster speeds and much better reliability. Again, not everyone's lucky enough to have that. Some people are stuck with either that or, Cox, which, at that point, go with T-Mobile. But, it's just not a good value.
But it still circles back to this, Max. So you're discussing the value proposition. You're discussing the pricing. It's not an option if you can't count on it. The most important ability is availability. If it's not there, if it doesn't work, who cares? It might as well not even be there. It might as well not even be available for sale. If you can't count on it, if you have to reset your modem gateway every 5 minutes, or if it overheats or the antennas fail, what's the point? It doesn't matter if it's $1 or $100. It doesn't matter if they give it to you for free. If it's not available, it's worthless. It's a paperweight. It's a doorstop. It's a window holder. What is it? It looks like a trash can. Now the jokes are gonna flood in.
Yeah. And then, I am curious, actually. A lot of T-Mobile fans, they're very critical. You guys have seen the Reddit page. What if this thing gets rolled out and it's that terrible? If they get so many reviews and they're that bad, I really want to see how they're going to defend this, because I know they're still drinking the Kool-Aid. I know they're wearing the pink thongs. I know. I'm going to assume their next product is probably going to be pink lipstick and pink makeup to do the clown attire. So pink lipstick is next.
They're going to give them for free on T-Mobile Tuesdays.
There you go. That's it. But anyway,
our customers got T-Mobile Tuesdays. Now they've got even more people wearing the pink lipstick.
The pink lipstick, you get the clown makeup with the white eyes and the pink nose and the pink lips, and there you go, your T-Mobile clown. So good job, T-Mobile. Great job, people. But anyway, that is the rundown for T-Mobile in 1 year. Let's see where they go next year, and we'll see how Mike Sievert does in his next quote-unquote uncarrier move, which to me is probably a kamikaze pilot heading into a dangerous territory. So I don't like to make those jokes, but I'm being serious. This is a death wish.
I know what you mean. I know exactly.
I don't like to make those jokes, but this is a bad situation. So, Mike, you better be prepared for what's coming next.
Yeah.
Alrighty, story number 2 and then story number 3. We're going to combine them into one. And Ron, it is great to see you. Thank you for joining in, Ron. Great to have you on tonight.
Ron.
Right,
Chuck, the
yeah.
T Clowns.
Clown.
Yeah, like T Chains. Hashtag T Clowns.
Yeah, I swear they're gonna hire some random person to be a rapper and
I
give them the name Timo. You got the Timo.
Like,
they're
you
gonna, they're
get
just
like
gonna make,
Sinbad. Call
they're
him
just
the
gonna make
T
rap
Man.
videos advertising for T-Mobile, and they're gonna try to be all catchy and stuff. That's gonna be the next thing. After having pink clown makeup, that's gonna be the next thing.
I'm telling you, they get Sinbad in there. You're going to watch me die of laughter. And if you know who Sinbad is, you know.
I don't.
Look it up after the show, Max. You'll understand why.
I'll look it up right now.
Go ahead. Alrighty, next story. This will be the last one, and then we're gonna combine the 2 stories into one because they do line back to back. We're gonna kind of make this the last story. We're doing pretty good, boys. So let's end it on a high note. Dish. Now we have been anticipating Dish. We have been waiting for Dish to finally come out with their own carrier service, but it looks like we're gonna have to wait a little bit longer because according to a lot of news outlets and you yesterday on your stream, Sneed, I'm gonna let you take this story and cover it, and then we will talk about it. But it looks like Dish has wrote a letter to the FCC complaining that T-Mobile is rushing the shutdown network that apparently Dish claims Boost Mobile customers are using. And the reason why this matters is because when T-Mobile purchased Sprint, they had a select chunk of assets they gave to Dish, including the Boost prepaid business. Dish also had been using their service to build out their own 5G network over several years. They're claiming that T-Mobile is rushing the shutdown of this CDMA network that was used by Sprint, and they're claiming that in them rushing this closure will result in 9 million Boost Mobile customers losing service. So Sneed, I want you to take this one. You covered this yesterday. Again, great stream. And I want you to explain the severity of this situation and why this is not a good look, not just for Dish, T-Mobile, but not a good look on the merger in some areas, in respects. You have probably a different opinion than I do, so I would like you to explain your side, and of course, Max, and then we'll bring it to the floor.
So the situation here is this has been going on for a while. The situation has been popping up every so often. Anytime T-Mobile wants to make a move, Dish pushes back. Right? Boost Mobile pushes back. So the problem is there is a sizable portion of Boost Mobile customers that are on the 3G network that is CDMA based with Sprint. Now those customers need a couple of things to happen. Number one, they either need more time to transition to a new phone that is future proof and compatible with the new T-Mobile network, or they are going to have to get phones on their own accord. All right, so there's a couple of different things that can be done to deal with this, but the bottom line is at every move that T-Mobile wants to make, Dish is getting in their way. That is true. They're belly aching, they're complaining. Now the problem is if T-Mobile doesn't tread water lightly and move calculated, they're going to look like the bad guy, which is my stance yesterday. T-Mobile looks bad because they are trying to move on from 3G and CDMA and move forward with LTE and 5G. But Dish is prolonging and dragging their feet in delaying the shutdown of the 3G from their customers. But the truth is that Boost Mobile customers are a cost-sensitive group. They can't afford 5G phones, or they won't want to buy 5G phones. I was at my friend's Boost Mobile store today, and 3 customers came in while I was there to pay their bill. And 2 of them had smartphones, and 1 did not. 1 had a flip phone. And of the 2 smartphones, one of them was so old, I think it was an iPhone 4.
Ooh.
Okay, so
nasty.
we're talking about phones that don't connect to LTE or 5G, right? Or it was a 3G iPhone. These people aren't ready to switch. They're either going to need a subsidy, an incentive, or a free phone to get into a newly modernized phone. So the problem is T-Mobile's trying to move on. I don't blame them. Dish is trying to buy time to figure out how they're going to serve these customers and transition them to the new era of networking. Yes, LTE is the current. 5G is the movement. We need to get there. But these people do not want to spend the money, or they can't. So there has to be a solution. And I am fearful that the solution is that Dish is going to win, because Dish is supposed to replace Sprint. They don't want to hinder Dish. They don't want to get in their way. They don't want to make it harder than it already is. Mike, imagine you're going into a business that you've never done before, and you have no customers. You literally have 9 million customers, right? AT&T has over 120 million. Verizon has over 120 million. And T-Mobile has over 120 million, right? I don't know if that's how it breaks down. Maybe it's like
Something
100.
like around the ballpark.
Yeah, let's like 100 of each, whatever. The point is it's hard already. You have the odds are stacked against you. You don't need another barrier in your way.
Oh, agreed. Absolutely.
T-Mobile's not wrong for wanting to move on, but unfortunately, I think Dish is going to win here because they're coming in so weak, and the FCC and the DOJ know this.
Yep, I'm actually kind of on your side on this situation, because I hate that Dish might win this situation, because this is one of those rare moments where I'm actually on the side for T-Mobile. 3G is an outdated technology. It's been outdated for way past 2020. The fact that we're even talking about 3G baffles me. But at the same time, I can understand Dish wanting a little bit of time, but there's no excuse. There should be no excuse. You need to come up with a way to get these customers. Now, the easiest solution would be, like you said, an incentive. Double trade-in value for a 4G mid-range for Android, or an iPhone SE, or something along those lines. Because a majority of people that are on these devices, they like what you said. Some of them cannot afford the high-priced iPhones or high-priced Androids or high-priced plans. So that's why they go with prepaid. But at the same breath, you have to be able to have something that can be capable. And taking a look at the foundation now, as to how far we've come with smartphone technology, there are capable devices to take advantage of LTE. If you're an Android user, you've got the A series of Samsung phones. If you're an iPhone user, you have the iPhone SE, which is a respective $399, which I think is a very fair price for an iPhone.
You could buy an iPhone XS used on Swappa for like $320 or something.
Okay, there you go. And the iPhone 7 is still relatively...
Gentlemen, they don't want to spend $300.
Well, that's why I was saying, if you do a trade-in, if you do some kind of incentive, like you said,
an incentive, right?
There has to be a push to shove. It needs to be a push to shove situation. But one of the obstacles in this that I see from Dish is, like you said, they're supposed to be what Sprint was, and it doesn't seem like they want to go that route. It seems like they're more focused on the prepaid rather than the postpaid, and I don't see any postpaid plans from Dish. I don't see any plans. But the fact that they might win this, as you claim, is a very strong possibility. And Max, if you want to chime in, you're more than welcome to.
Yeah, sure. Just about Boost Mobile. Can I share my screen so I can show you?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. If you'd like to share, we can take a look at this. There we go.
All right, so you got my screen on here. So this is a little clip from a Stetson video. I'm just going to show you this right here. So these are some of the old plans that were offered on the Sprint network, and this is what most Boost Mobile customers are currently using. So you got the 3 gig plan. This is a Walmart promotion. And you got these two plans, which have 35 gig data caps. And ever since the Dish acquisition, they've introduced these ones and these ones. Shrink it plan, the $35 10 gig plan, and of course introduced those horrible 35 gig data caps in those once unlimited plans. These are only for new customers. But again, since most people will be on these plans, and I'm not necessarily thinking that they'd want to switch their plan on Boost Mobile, it's going to be hard to get them off of these plans unless you want them to switch a carrier. And it's going to be hard, and like you were pointing out, it's hard for them to get on a new phone. If they have like an old phone, you're going to need like a trade-in, or you're going to need an offer. Maybe if they introduce bulk pricing, they'll give you a significant discount on a phone, if you pay upfront for your plan for a year, something along those lines. And I think that's what Boost Mobile needs to do to get those old 3G CDMA customers on to the new network, because these plans are all on the Sprint network, and it's kind of a hassle and an inconvenience to switch your plan. So, given that most people are going to be on these plans, and they want people on these newer plans, you're going to have to figure out a way to get them on there.
Also, real quick, for copyright purposes, these video clips and images are provided by Stetson Duggett again, because I don't know if he's the type of guy that does copyright, so I'm just putting it out there. This is all from his channel. You can check out that at Stetson Duggett. Am I saying his name right? Duggett? Rick rolled. I like that. But no, yeah. So you guys are absolutely right. There are certain to select. So my next question, and then we'll talk about one final story to finish around this off, and then we'll end the show. My next question to you then is, what do you think the outcome will be if the FCC takes this into real serious consideration? What do you guys predict they're going to side with Dish? Do you believe they're going to side with T-Mobile? What do you think they're going to do? Because apparently, and I'm not trying to get political with this take here. I don't like bringing politics into tech.
No, I don't.
But with this new administration, the Biden administration coming in, and because they're more of an open administration that does take, business competition and everything seriously, but at the same time, they also care about consumer give back. Do you think they would help to boost the incentives for people on the Dish Boost network prepaid? Do you think that they would intervene and step in to help assist to get other people on? Is that a possibility? What do you guys think? Max, you can go first, and then Sam, you can go after.
I don't really think so. Obviously, there's the new administration, but I just don't think that that's the type of thing they would do. That's just my personal opinion. It doesn't really seem like trying, even though it's for a reason to get them, to benefit the network. Get them off the Sprint network, get them on the T-Mobile network. But I don't think the government would get involved in that one specific thing from one specific carrier for this promotion. I think it's on them to get customers to get a new phone. I don't think they would really have much part in that. Obviously, they would be happy if that works, but I don't think they're going to subsidize some new phones. I don't think they're going to really push it, but I could be wrong. This is just my opinion right now. But, if things start to change with the FCC, then I'll be proven wrong. I'm not saying that it's impossible, but I'm just not thinking that. Boost Mobile already has some pretty good value phones that you can buy from them that are compatible with the new network. I'm going to go to their website right now and take a look at some of them. They come in at, less than $100 even. It's crazy that you can get such a phone.
I'm so sorry to interrupt you. I apologize, but we have another guest sitting on standby in the back. He just joined in. I am thrilled and honored to have this individual on. His name is the one and only Carlos at&t. Carlos!
What's going on, man?
What up, Los? What up, man?
Brought to you by the OnePlus 9 Pro, dude.
Dang, he's on that OnePlus 9 Pro. We got to get the zoom in on that
got
quality.
That Hasselblad camera.
Dude.
Hasselblad. We got to get that quality in there. I'm about to take these guys out for 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Let's get this quality in there. Sorry, Sneed Max.
Bro.
Look at this. Look at this.
Bro, this camera is amazing. Amazing quality. I'm not going to deny it, bro.
It's beautiful. It is very sharp.
Dude,
very nice detail.
It's sharp. Yeah, it's not a bad phone at all.
How's the mic, Carlos? How's the audio?
I'm using the Galaxy Bud. Or not the Galaxy Bud, the OnePlus Bud.
Okay.
How are they?
I only hear you. I don't hear any.
Yeah, I don't hear the background.
No wind.
You don't hear the
noise.
birds chirping?
The birds I do, but I don't hear
but the
wind.
microphone, though. Wait. The microphone quality is not very good, though.
Right. It's
It's a muffled-ish kind of sound tone
Yeah,
to it,
but
but
it's
it
also
does
like-
do a good
Yeah.
job of
It's like
reducing
amplified.
wind noise, of a wind. It does good job with voice pickup, but I think it does need a
Yeah.
little bit of work.
This is one of the
You-
things I like about iPhones is they really think of refining the things that people don't really think about, the things that show up on a spec sheet. On iPhone, you have great quality haptics, a great quality microphone. Stuff is more stable. It works better. And that's just it's very subtle, the refinements that Apple does to the iPhone. But
Bro,
when you
we
put
were
it all
talking
together,
about the
it just
One
makes
Plus
for a
though,
much better
Max.
experience.
Bro,
We were talking about the One
honestly,
Plus.
don't get me wrong, man. I love my iPhone and everything, but OnePlus just shitted on everybody.
Well, I mean, yeah.
They
You
did.
know,
They took the iPhone. They gave it a kick in the curb. They took
Ooh.
oh, I don't agree.
the
And we got Zero Cool in here
Oh,
too.
what a
Look at
real
Zero
cool
Cool coming in the
around.
house.
Yeah.
We got a party now.
you guys know me. I love my iPhone. I hate Android, but I'm making an exception for this one.
All
I
right.
say we do.
Yeah. All right. Well, back to the Boost Mobile thing, getting people on new phones. If you let me share my screen again, I can
Sure.
show.
Yeah. Oh, no problem.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Take a
Cool.
look at
Cool.
yours.
There. It is. So, all right. You got it. You got it on there.
Yep, it's up.
All right. So you can see, and they've been doing this for a while. So you can get the Moto G Power for $100, and you want an iPhone? They're putting a sale on the SE.
Okay.
I've used this phone for a little bit. The only thing that I really hate about it is the battery life. The battery life just doesn't cut it. But other than that, it's a great option. G Fast from last year, $89. LG K51, $89. If you're just desperate to get a phone, just a basic, just get on a new network. $35 for the Wiko Ride 2. Have I heard of Wiko? No, but is it cheap? Yes. Moto E, nice price. They've got really cheap phones, and just look at the sub $100 price point. Obviously, you've got top models as well, but looking at the sub $100 price point, there's a surprising amount of options that you can get even from big brands like Samsung and stuff. You can get an iPhone 8 for $150, and you can get it in the fire looking red color.
Love me that red color. That was the best product red they ever did. Too bad it's gone, man. That was the best product red they ever did.
Yeah, but I mean, the fact that you have access to such technology at such a cheap price, and the fact that you're on a new network that's better, to me, that's just crazy. That's just amazing.
Zero Cool, thank you for coming on. I appreciate you taking your time to come in. How do you chime into all of this?
What, the Boost phones?
Boost, the whole situation going on. I don't know if you were watching. We were talking about how Dish is delaying the cancellation of the 3G buyout, and they're blaming T-Mobile for it. Me, Sneed, and Max were talking, and Carlos, I'll definitely hear you as well. But also customers not willing to switch on to these new phones because these are some old phones they're using. What is your take on it? What do you think?
Well, that's exactly it. So like my take is this: like Dish is definitely delaying as much as possible the CDMA shutdown. Why? It's because that's what they rely on most for their customer base, right? I mean, it's just I don't agree with what Dish is doing. I mean, you can look at both sides. Yeah, they filed the FCC complaint, but it's to me, T-Mobile is doing what they said they would do. I mean, it's there was nothing. Correct me if I'm wrong, but there was nothing in that DOJ agreement that says they have to keep the CDMA on for a certain amount of time. The only agreement was they have to just use their network for 7 years or whatever the heck it is, right?
I think you're right. I think you're right. I don't think there's anything in there about legacy technology or legacy phones.
Right. And the problem is, and this is with, this is how carriers like to do it because they kind of find like little, odds and ends to gripe about. Half of Congress doesn't know what CDMA is, right? So, it's just they try and skirt around the issue. But I'm sorry, but no, T-Mobile is in the right for this. It's their network. Dish is just leasing it from. It's just, and the reason why the whole phone thing is Dish is not in a position, in my opinion, to offer high quality VoLTE phones at a good price. They'd be better to do that. Like they would say, we have S21s, we have Apple 12s, none of these cheapo, CDMA phones. It's just I don't think this is a great way to. And let me say this. Think about this, guys. It makes no sense because Dish is doing what? They're building a 5G network from the jump. Why? Well, two things. Why complain about CDMA when you're not going to use it?
Well,
Two.
let's be honest, Zero Cool, that the customers that will be on their 5G network are not the customers on their Boost mobile access.
Oh,
Well, that's also true. But who cares? Like, you know what I'm
No,
saying?
I'm with you. I agree. It's this complaining is about the current 8 or so million. I don't even know who's affected by the 3G stuff.
9 million,
It
I
might
believe they
be.
said.
Yeah, but that's the total number of Boost customers.
Oh, so
I
you're
would
saying like a
say-
certain segment of like
Yeah,
the
I
9
would say
million.
I estimate it to be probably under 20% of customers.
I think it's
that are
1%.
3G
It says it right here. Apparently, well, this is a noted from Verizon that they only have 1% of customers still on CDMA.
Yeah, but that's
Uh,
because Verizon has been actively pushing customers off of CDMA.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
Like
look at
Dish just started doing that now.
that promotion that Verizon has right now. You could bring a damn flip phone and get $1,000 off.
Yeah, they will even take cracked phones, and that's a big deal.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah, like,
So
straight up, they'll give you $350 for a cracked 6S, a thing that someone will probably pay like $20 for. They'll give you 300. I mean, that's just crazy. As someone who has a cracked 6S laying around, I can use cash, but I don't want to become a Verizon postpaid customer. Maybe I will when I decide to test Verizon at some point. But
yeah, the problem why Dish is complaining, it's because it's like half their customer base. I mean, everybody would be upset, right? But the way that they're going about it is not the right way. Like 5G is the future, and CDMA is every carrier is shutting down CDMA. But even like the roaming access, like the Sprint with Verizon roaming, that's going to go away. So they don't have a leg to stand on. It's just like saying, oh, let's keep 1X alive till 2025.
But
I'm
Zero
sorry,
Cool,
but no.
But Zero Cool, I think, based on Dish's starting point from nothing, based on this administration, based on the DOJ, the FCC, I think they will end up accommodating Dish.
Yeah, but that not necessarily, because that's based on past agreements. They would have to change the entire freaking agreement.
But it's not about changing the agreement. I mean, we literally saw, the DOJ have to re-intervene last summer in July and August when Dish and T-Mobile couldn't come to an agreement on 600 megahertz.
That's the only that was just to get the deal going, right? To get the deal, finalized.
Yeah, but I saw that as a moment that is pivotal.
Mm.
Dish and T-Mobile can't work together. They don't. It's not working.
They never do. They never do. They never will.
I know. Listen, Charlie Ergen is difficult and Dish is difficult, but T-Mobile has to lay low for a few years.
Oh,
they're being viewed under a microscope right now.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't.
But that's why I think, bro, that they're working on this deal with Verizon. I'm telling you, there's something they're gonna work with Verizon, bro. I have that feeling.
If I was T-Mobile, if I was T-Mobile, what I would do is I would have like some type of lease. Why can't they just do like a lease specialty deal or some type of lease phone deal or some phone promos to help out Dish customers? Why can't work up some phone agreement with them? They can do that.
Well, I mean, Boost is selling some prepaid phones that are compatible with the new network for pretty cheap, as I showed before. But I definitely see what you mean.
I love AT&T's approach. AT&T has the best approach when it comes to getting people off legacy tech.
Mm-hmm.
Give me your iPhone 2, your iPhone 1 first gen. Give it to us, no problem. We'll give you a brand new iPhone. What is it? Where do they get an iPhone XR for those?
That's the best one.
For free.
On that one, they give an XR. And for, let's say if you got an iPhone 5S, they're giving you an iPhone 12 mini.
Yeah.
Straight up, they're giving it to you.
Oh, yeah. I could tell you guys, you look at the promotions that Verizon is running, you look at all the promotions that they're giving you fair value. I don't think anything comes close to what Verizon's doing. And, there's a reason that people have said that Verizon is now the new Un-carrier. I've heard many people now say that, and there's a reason to do so. even though they are expensive, they still haven't lowered the price. They're giving you a lot of value. They're giving you a ton of value. And I think at that point, you either adapt to survive or you just throw in the towel. So it's a really tough situation with most of these carriers because AT&T, the Death Star, everybody makes jokes about the Death Star, but that Death Star is about close to being operational with the HBO Max and everything. So,
but it's not even that, bro. They're honestly AT&T. This is what I've noticed about them. They are trying to make it work to give customers to get them off legacy tech and just give them a free phone. You don't even have a commitment. It's literally yours. So if you got that phone and the next day you said, you know what, screw AT&T, I'm switching over to T-Mobile, you can take that and take it with you, and there's no payments owed.
You guys know
They're
how
taking the best of perks to get people off legacy tech.
Yeah, you guys know how the Boost name came about? Is the whole Boost was to actually have people's phone experience be a whole boost off the old TDMA network.
Oh,
That's true.
Oh, man.
It's that's what it was. It's like
I remember the old TDMA network. It was CDMA, TDMA, and I think that was the AT&T network, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The same technology they were using, Zero Cool?
everybody was pretty much using it at one point.
Yeah. I remember the old AT&T because my StarTech with AT&T.
oh, StarTAC.
Yeah, my StarTech was a TDMA StarTech.
You had a StarTAC. Wow.
Dude, I had like 4 StarTechs.
Hey, those were the old days. Those were good
I'm
old
not
days.
young. I'm not old enough to remember the StarTAC, but I did see Mr. Mobiles when phones were fun about the StarTAC.
I remember my dad had one of them. And something, I'll bet you $1 million. My dad keeps everything that he has. He was there since the beginning of, these cellular carriers. I've told you from the beginning of T-Mobile when they weren't even T-Mobile.
Yeah, voice stream.
And I remember he used to have these silver flip phones similar to what Mr. Mobile had. And then he got these other ones where the pop-out antenna come out. And I'm like, damn. We're talking
those.
old school.
I used to open them up with my teeth,
technology
dude.
back in the day.
Mhm.
Hey, man. I kind of miss the good old days. I miss the days of, like, as a kid, you see a flip phone, you just flip it open like this, and you just think you're a Power Ranger. It's morphin' time. Boom. Just, like, play with your dad's phone, and then you're like, I'm playing with a phone.
All right, then buy a Galaxy Z Flip.
You could do it by a Galaxy Z Flip nowadays.
Well,
That's a good solution.
I honestly think, like, the flip phones, like the Motorola Razr and the Z Flip, are just kind of dumb because you're going from nothing to a regular size phone where the whole purpose of a foldable is being able to turn a normal phone into a larger, like, tablet size thing.
Don't say that. You'll offend Carlos. He loves the flip phone.
Oh, no.
I like the flip phones, too.
I think the flips are pretty cool. I'm on board.
I'm
on board with
they're
flips.
cool from a style
Chuck,
perspective.
thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. And he says here the Moto V120 was his
That was
first
a good
phone.
But
That was a very good phone, Chuck. Thank
I
you for the
definitely-
super chat. Appreciate it.
I definitely see how they could be cool from, like, a style perspective, but the practicality and the usefulness of something like that, and the fact that you're getting old hardware and it just costs a whole lot of money to get one of those phones, for me, it never really made sense. But maybe if they make one cheaper, and
Right.
maybe if they make, like, a flagship phone, with flagship cameras that just happened to be able to flip, it might be a step up, but I still don't agree with the form factor.
The one that I can't wait on, especially what I just saw leaks today, is that BlackBerry Key 3, man. I can't wait to have a physical keyboard again.
Yeah.
Physicality.
Oh, hell no.
Bro, they're talking.
Okay. I'm
Bro,
saying all right now.
a touchscreen keyboard is horrid.
I'm not gonna lie here. I'm sorry, Jose. I'll show you a comment. I like a physical keyboard. I remember back in the day playing around with them things, but actually being able to physically touch the buttons and write your message out. I know Steve Jobs made a big deal about it on, the whole iPhone.
So what's next? You want a stylus in your phone?
Who
Who wants a stylus? Yeah.
Well, I mean, to be fair though, Samsung has made a good stylus nowadays, so
Yeah.
there's an argument. There's an argument.
Raise your hand if you like
canceling the
features.
Note series. They're canceling.
Raise your hand if you like features.
I'm
Max
raising my
doesn't
hand.
want features.
I like features, but I don't like physical keyboards. I don't like old technology.
Man,
Well, but
I was
the
doing
physical-
T9 texting
You
from the
calling me old
womb,
now,
man.
Max?
You see, but that's the thing, though, Max. Like, all right, if you have a physical keyboard, you're preventing a lot of wear on the screen too. Remember the touch. That's why these pixels start dying out and stuff eventually through time.
I'd rather that doesn't.
And it's just
I mean,
and it's just
it does matter
nature, bro.
to some degree, but not. I'd rather have a couple of minor scratches on the screen than have to deal with a physical keyboard.
Want to know something?
BlackBerry
I will
style.
tell you this. I will tell you this. I am so old school that I still have a TI calculator, and I play with the buttons on here just to get the feel of doing calculations on a calculator.
To be fair, those
That's
things are
me.
cool. Those things are cool. They can do a lot.
They are,
You know,
man.
you can mess around in class with them.
Yeah, the slide roll too.
Yeah, the slider and everything. Boom, slider. 1, 2. Taking on a business trip, you hit him in the head.
Yeah.
But alrighty, boys, I would love to keep this going. I really, really would love to, but unfortunately, we have reached the time limit. And Sneed, you have a show going on as we speak after this, I
Yep,
believe.
about to set it up right now. So,
So I'll tell you what, let's get this momentum. Everybody head on over to the Sneed Mobile Tech live stream. Let's keep this momentum going. Get this man's live stream booming. Guys, thank you all for joining me. I appreciate you all tonight. I want to thank my guests, Max, Sneed, Carlos, Zero Cool. I want to thank you all for coming in. This was a fun show. I would like to do this again more often, so I promise you guys we will do this again. We'll have some fun debates like you just saw. But anyway, guys, I hope you all have a safe night. Thank you for the super chat, Chuck. Thank you all for watching me on live stream. If you enjoyed the live, hit the like button. If you dislike the live stream, if you're a pink thong wearer, you can hit that dislike button. It doesn't matter. I'm going to give you some red panties after this. Thank you all.
Max reminds me of Steve Jobs. I kind of like that.
Hell yeah, red panty night. Verizon, let's go.
All right, peace, Technoid.
All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Stay safe. Have a great night. I will see you all on Sneeze channel. Have a great day. And
Thanks for coming, guys.